Chicago has banned a rapper by the name Chief Keef, and apparently Rahm Emanuel, who is the mayor of Chicago, is not a huge fan of Chief Keef because of his criminal record. Now, not only is he banned in Chicago, he seems to be banned in the entire state of Illinois. And recently, during Craze Fest, Chief Keef wanted to perform in order to raise some money for one of his friends, who was also a rapper, who was shot and killed in a shooting, and also a 13-month-old who was killed as the shooter was trying to get away. Now, what's incredible about this is the second he got on stage, well, he didn't get on stage, the second his hologram got on stage, the entire festival was shut down. So let me give you the details about that. Last weekend, a Chicago theater called off a similar show after representatives for Mayor Rahm Emanuel's office deemed Chief Keef an unacceptable role model whose music promotes violence and whose presence via hologram posed a significant public safety risk.
Oh, come on, let's just stop. Are you crazy? So his hologram is a safety risk for the people of Chicago?
Yeah.
And oh my God, he's got violence in his gang and allusions to gang violence in his lyrics. Well, no, really, that's got to be the first time that's ever happened in music history. It's got to be the first time it's ever happened in entertainment history. I'm going to go to the example I love using. Okay, Joe Pesci, to be fair to Rahm Emanuel, was going to do a hologram in Chicago, and Rahm Emanuel was like, no way. That guy's liable to beat anybody with a bat or a phone or shoot people. I've seen his movies.
This is kind of incredible because when we talk about First Amendment rights, oftentimes people get it wrong. You know, if there's a company or a corporation who deems an employee unfit for their company because of something he or she has said, that's okay. A company can do whatever they want. When it comes to the government, they're not allowed to violate our First Amendment rights. The government is not supposed to tell us what we can and can't say, what we can and can't write, what we can and can't perform. And in this case, you have a governmental official, Rahm Emanuel, telling this rapper, oh, it turns out that you talk about gang violence in your lyrics, so I'm banning you, not just in Chicago, but the entire state of Illinois. Now, to be a little fair to Rahm Emanuel, this rapper does have a criminal history, but I don't care if he has a criminal history. Just because you have a criminal past doesn't mean that you're not allowed to express yourself through your music.
No. I don't give a shit what Rahm Emanuel thinks about him. He says he's a, quote, as you just read, Anna, an unacceptable role model. That's like your opinion, man. I don't really give a shit about your opinion. You don't get to say as a government official, I find you unacceptable. I'll be banning you in person and your hologram. And the cops initially came to the venue and they're like, is Chief Keef here? No. How about his voice? Is his voice here? And the venue officials are like, yeah, we're playing his song, so I guess his voice is here.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, arrest his voice?
So, but here's the incredible thing. He genuinely wanted to raise money for his friend's family, okay, the man who was shot, and also the family of this 13-month-old baby that was also killed. He didn't go there to be violent. He didn't go there to send a bad message or be a bad role model. He went there to help people and send an anti-violent message. And for some reason, Rahm Emanuel can't get past that. He wants to ban this form of expression from this particular person. So let me give you some more details about how he was attempting to raise money. So Chief Keef, and I apologize if I ever mispronounce his name because it's kind of hard to say, Chief Keef, but whatever, had billed the performance as a Stop the Killing benefit concert.
Oh, well, then you got to shut it down. I mean, that sounds so dangerous.
So dangerous. Meant to raise money for Marvin Carr, a fellow Chicago rapper who died in a shooting this month, and Dylan Harris, a 13-month-old child killed by a vehicle fleeing the scene of the shooting. The rapper opted not to appear in the Midwest in the flesh, citing outstanding warrants for his arrest stemming from 2 child support cases. Okay, so he was in a soundstage in Los Angeles. That's how he was performing. And of course, that music went all the way to this performance where the hologram represented his image. And his hologram got shut down by a bunch of authorities who don't understand the freedom of expression.
So the cops were there. The minute the hologram goes up, they shut down the whole concert, kick out 2,000 people in 1 minute. Like, I mean, I'm sure the process took a little longer, but as soon as they went, they're like, okay, boom, shut it all down. We're done with this.
Yeah.
The hologram is that dangerous. Now let's explain why, my opinion on why Rahm Emanuel and his butt boy here is doing this. The guy in the nearby town. So, first of all, Rahm Emanuel also cites that he has some lyrics that are possibly condone violence against the police. So the cops, who are very powerful in Chicago, I'm sure, go to Rahm Emanuel, the mayor, and they're like, we don't like this guy. Shut this guy down, right? And Rahm Emanuel thinks he's a tough guy, and he probably watched Kelsey Grammer in that TV show about the Chicago mayor where he does all these dirty tricks and thinks he's like the king of all kings. And Rahm Emanuel said, that's it, I'm going to shut this guy down. He's a bad role model. And then he goes and applies pressure to nearby towns. And this local yokel, the mayor of Hammond, Thomas McDermott Jr., says, oh, I got nothing against rap, but, you know, if Rahm Emanuel says he's a danger to the area, I mean, I got to respect it. No, you don't have to respect his decision.
Yeah, what?
Be your own man. What does that mean? My boss, mayor of a different city, told me to be a good boy and arrest this guy's hologram?
I feel like the mayor of Hammond should feel a little embarrassed about this.
Definitely.
Are you
I
a
just
strong...
called him a butt boy.
Yeah, you did call him a butt boy. Anyway, but yeah, it makes him look incredibly weak. You're having someone basically pass rules or whatever in your jurisdiction. Be a leader and lead. That's what you were elected for. But nonetheless, the promoter, I should say, for the entire event that got shut down said the following: no one ever gave me a reason why they didn't want the hologram to appear. They didn't have a real reason. They believed that it would start trouble. But the first thing Chief Keef said via hologram was, Chicago, we need to stop the violence. Let our kids live.
Sounds very dangerous.
Yep.
Okay, so now the other thing these idiots have done is, if you didn't like Chief Keef, and I've got no opinion, I don't know his music at all, well, you just made him a lot bigger. You just did him a huge, huge favor, you idiots.
Good.
Now he's the outlaw Chief Keef. Even his holograms are banned. You know how fucking cool that is? You guys are so stupid. You couldn't do a better job of managing him if you were his own agent. That is like, for a rapper, like, I'm banned in Chicago, I'm banned in all the cities, my image is banned.
Yeah.
That's how fucking tough I am.
And he's got a cool name.
If I'm him, I'm ecstatic over this. I do posters everywhere, holograms everywhere of the outlaw Chief Keef.
Yes, I agree. Why are governmental officials allowed to violate our freedom of expression? That's what I want to know. Like, what he did is unconstitutional, isn't it?
You can't say I don't like your attitude and I find you an unacceptable role model.
So I'm banning your music?
If he's got a case of specifically inciting violence, okay, but then you got to let him actually say it, right? If he says something that incites violence, then you can arrest him based on that. There is a charge on that. But he didn't get a chance to say anything except stop the killings.
Violent.
Gee, I wonder if they're making some assumptions about him.